Hello there. Welcome to another talk, a podcast, a meditation. And this is a strange one, you're probably thinking. But, well, what was it? It's last week, for about a week actually, I was getting these massive new spiritual awakenings. It all started at the age of 24. I had this massive spiritual awakening, and then after that I started getting spiritual awakenings every other day, and still now, and it happens all the time ever since the first big one, and one I got last week, because I've always had visions, especially maybe the last year, like having these visions of tiny women. And I had this download, this new awakening last week, which was letting me know that the giants that came to Earth, to this planet, and mated with the women, it was letting me know that those giants were very ascended, and that is the 144,000, the ones that are ascending now, the ones that are what people call chosen ones, the ones that are spiritually ascending and awakening, God's angels, whatever you want to call it. Like in the title of this talk, Nephilim is those males that are ascending. And the women that they went with, I was down, because this is stuff, I have now just started reading, I read one book before, children's book. Then lately, started last year, I started reading a book. I'm, it's very slow at reading, 2 pages and that's me. But one of the books that I sometimes read is the, Holy Scriptures. That's it, I just had to look at it just now. It's called Holy Scriptures. But I've heard about the giants that came down, but I never thought about it. It was just something, it wasn't in my mind, and then all of a sudden I got this download, and for a while I started seeing these midget women. And then I got shown this vision of myself as the most beautiful and ascended version of myself, and I was a giant, and there was tiny women. And I was basically, because downloads are basically frequencies, and it's your thoughts that make up what it's saying. So you're not hearing voices or nothing. And then I got the download letting me know what the awakening is, and that because with ascension comes height. That's not to say that tall people, like human beings, they can be asleep, because they've not entered out of the third dimension yet. But with ascension does come height. And and that will obviously come. But basically this download let me know that the ones that are ascending and awakening now are angels, basically. And what people think are twin flame connections are actually connections between the Nephilim and the women. You see? And letting me know that and there was other things in this downloads that I got as well about that all the, anything we can imagine is within these angelic powers. I was also downloaded something last week called an angel body. An angel body is an energetic self. I was downloaded this angelic self that I'm tapping into ultimately. And I was also downloaded that my higher self is a Nephilim. And that's what I'm tapping into. And also, downloads last week. I'm just going back to last week. There's massive downloads I got, new spiritual awakenings. Another one was letting me know, and I get this regular, is how God is Gaia, but this female created the male to create life, and they split in two. And that's really what the divine feminine and divine masculine is. You get a lot of people that talk about twin flame, but they talk about the divine feminine or divine masculine like it's a regular person. No, obviously they're a bit ignorant. But the divine masculine, divine feminine is actually God, and that's what I believe is the connection between twin flames. I believe the women are the women that the Nephilim went with. They're not fallen angels. There's no such thing as fallen angels. Everything comes from source. And anything it cuts, see, this is just like a movie, a film, a dream. And it's created by the source. You see? And the creator is you, because everything came from this female, but she created the male. And she is forever grateful because she couldn't breed before. Imagine there's no way you can breed, there's nothing. And then all of a sudden you can breed. But the other thing is, these things didn't happen in different time moments, because the source of everything is nothingness. So all this thing already happened before it happened. Because there is no distance or time. Everything, the source of everything has to be nothingness. You see? So that means all distance or time is an illusion. But I'm not going to really go into that just now. But it means that the divine feminine, divine masculine already happened before they had the idea to do it. Because all things are forward and backward would have already happened within nothing, you see. There's no distance or anything. But back to the talking hand. Yeah, so that's what the connection is with twin flames. And so the 144,000 is, if you believe that, or the chosen ones, people spiritually ascending, the males are the Nephilim. You see? But the thing is, you know, it's it's very rational to understand that of course you're tapping into a higher spirit when you are awakening. That's obvious. And obviously giants that come down, they're just more ascended. You see? There is infinity and limitless potential from source, you know, so it can create a giant if it wants to. Can create anything. But the one of the downloads last week was that letting me know that because of the divine masculine's ability to breed with the feminine, that means that the Gaia was forever grateful. So in God's, the female's eyes, the masculine is king. The masculine is the God, because without the masculine she could never breed. You see? She can only dream about it or think about it. So that's why when you start to ascend, you start to tap into this grateful energy. A lot of people talk about it in law of attraction, but the gratefulness is an element of the love between the divine feminine and divine masculine, i.e. Nephilim and the women they went with. The Nephilim were angels that chose women because they were sent. The women aren't giants, but when they tap into source, they are. You see? But the man is the God in the divine feminine's eyes, because without the masculine, you never have life. So it means it was almost like an accident, but a miracle. So just think of it, you can't have life, you can't do nothing. And then there's life, and then there's this miracle that allows you to do that. You're going to be forever grateful. There's not going to be a limit to how much gratefulness you've got for that side of, for the divine masculine. So that means in Gaia's eyes, or third eye, whatever, it's the divine masculine that's God. You see? Because of that, the without that, she cannot give life. And that's why it was males that came down, giant males, because they are the gods. You see? It's like last year I went on a journey and about sexual transmutation and semen retention. And a lot of guys that do it, and they say, you know, it is women that need men. A lot of males don't understand their power. You see? But now there's an awakening happening, a shift happening, and like I say, I get these downloads. You know, the female is the god, but it was the masculine that gave her the ability to breed. You see? And for that reason, she's forever grateful. And that's why the Nephilim were males. And those males are those males that are awakening now. I just had a thought in my mind, you know, a download telling me that those males can actually be in female bodies as well. Because divine masculine, divine feminine can actually be, you can actually have both in the same body. And that's the real Kundalini. The real Kundalini is when these energies start mating with each other. When they become perfectly aligned, that's when they become the perfect love that they are. And see, Kundalini isn't just an awakening. It's an alignment, so you embody that energy. My unexpected spiritual awakening, at the start of it, there was craziness. You know, my body was doing things that no one could ever understand. I was experiencing things, shaking and, you know, all sorts of craziness. But back to the talk in hand, yes. So, you know, your higher self, if you're a male, is a giant angel, because that's what you are. The reason you descended is because the people, if giants were to come now, they'd probably set the army on them or try and shoot at them or something. And that's why other guys don't like you, because you probably were going with their women. This is true. Angels came to earth and were going with people's women. So that'll be why if you're a guy going through an awakening, other guys don't like you. It's because you probably were going with their women. And it'll be in their psyche. I mean, that'll be a traumatic thing. Imagine a giant go with your woman and you can't do nothing about it because they're so big. And she's loving every second of it. Well, yeah, and that'll be why. And the reason the women that are awakening have other women jealous of them, because you were going with an angel. And because you went with the angel, you were blessed with this twin flame connection. This is what I was downloaded last week. You don't have to listen to me, do your own research. You know, I would say the guru, the real spiritual guru is within. And I think that's a good place to leave the talk. For latest updates, talks, my talks are always at the top of my homepage. The Welcome to Sean Taylor homepage at the top. And my website address is www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.